Hello, hello, and welcome back to my journey through Japan. In our last episode, we had just finished off the theme park trifecta, knocking out Universal Studios Japan and Super Nintendo Land. We got back to the hotel after. We were both kind of wiped out, but I was still kind of eager for more otaku adventures. So after I rested for a bit, I decided to head out on a little solo excursion to Denden town, which is a place very, very near and dear to my heart. The first time I went to Japan, I stayed with my cousin, who is currently living in Osaka. Well, he's not currently living there. You know what I mean. At the time, he was living there. And I spent most of my time on that trip in Osaka, and then therefore I spent most of my time on that trip in Denden Town, the otaku district in Osaka, which conveniently is pretty close to Shinsekai and therefore close to our hotel. So I just headed out on foot. I saw this nice little tanuki statue. There's all these little neighborhood gardens of people with plants out in front of their houses. It's very lovely, gives a lot of charm to the neighborhood. Saw a cat. Didn't actually see all too many cats in Japan this time. I don't know if it's just because we were in slightly busier places or because it was hotter out, so the cats were all tucked away somewhere shady. But on my previous trip to Japan, like seeing cats and trying to get close with cats and stuff was like a very regular occurrence. But yeah, we still see them here and there. There's the wider shot of the alley where I saw it. Again, you can just see out on top of their air conditioning units and stuff, all these places doing a little decoration. This brings a lot of liveliness to everything. There's Mr. Cat. Beautiful, beautiful evening. You know, it was 5:04 p.m. The sky was just brilliantly blue. Nary a cloud in sight in the sky. Skites. I liked on the balcony, some people had like large trees and plants. It's something I never really thought about. I only kind of think of like potted plants on balconies. But I kind of like this. This gives a nice little atmosphere. It makes me think I should get a big plant for my balcony. Something that has to be all year round, though, because of course I live in Canada, where we have real serious business winters. So on my way into Denden Town, I stumbled upon a video game store, just like a one-off one. So I went in, and they had this amazing selection of Game & Watches. I think Game & Watches are so cool. I don't know. Someday I'd like to own one of the OG ones. So many of them are so creative, like this archetypal proto DS type one. We got some of the classics here like Fire and Chef. Some of the more modern ones like Fire Attack. And they're expensive, but they're not like crazy expensive when you think about it. Like when you think of how historic this is as hardware and the fact that there's the boxes are there too. It's pretty nuts. But yeah, that's Japan in a nutshell. Otaku history of all types preserved so well and for sale. There's this big Dragon Quest III poster. This would have been way back in 1988 when it was being released. I thought that was really neat. This comic over here looks funny too. It's in English for some reason. Ended up getting this for my boyfriend as a little birthday present. I was hoping to find it somewhere for even cheaper. I was looking in all the Mandarakes and used stuff. Here, this was new, sealed, never listened to before, which is pretty amazing for a game back from like 2007. I'm gonna check. Game. 2005. Yeah, so this is probably close to 20 years old. And to find it here in this random store, having not seen it anywhere else, I was like, I will go for this at any price. A game very near and dear to my boyfriend's heart that has a pretty kick-ass soundtrack, I gotta say. They had some OG GameCube controllers. Decent prices, not like amazing prices, not so great that I jumped at them instantly. I like that some of them have become what me and my friends would call thumb cutters, where the rubber grip on the analog stick wears down. And this one especially will definitely cut your thumb. Yeah, this one in kind of rough shape too. This one has a thumb cutter C stick. I'd never even seen that before. But you know, as a Melee player, I'm always looking for GameCube controllers. You can never have too many of those. This I thought was funny. Somebody had written their name on this Dreamcast fight stick, and who knows how long ago they did. I assume this is their name. This is like characters that don't make any sense to me. This means like group or something though, so it might be like a club or a circle or something. I don't know. At any rate, I thought that was kind of cute. This was a shelf of DVDs of like high level play in a variety of games. And had I peered at the shelf more carefully when I was there, I certainly would have recognized Cleopatra Fortune, which is a really cool puzzle game. Very, I think, underrated in terms of just how cool the aesthetics, the music is phenomenal. Oh, I guess it's on Switch now. That's cool. That's actually really cool. Maybe I'll play that later. But it was on PS1 in arcade. And it was kind of a minor hit among puzzle fans in Japan, but never got a Western release, I guess, until the Switch. And this is like a super play video of it. This is just a video of somebody playing it really well. And most of the other ones on here are like shmups. There's some beat 'em up games. And I'm pretty sure, unless I'm like really misunderstanding this would just be top level players recording high score runs. And this was like a pseudo commercial kind of Dojin level product, which I think is super, super cool. And it exists in the West too. Before the days of YouTube, where you could just upload this stuff freely, you could buy like a DVD that would have all of the footage of matches from like Evo or whatever, right? Or like StarCraft leagues would sell DVDs of high level matches. And that was like how it circulated before everyone had broadband, super fast internet and could just upload and download videos willy-nilly. Yeah, pretty neat. I really like the drawing here as well of the shmup action. So that was pretty cool. I really like this signboard where it looks like a whole bunch of different people have contributed art on like sticky notes. The gang is all here indeed. Villager, Marth, Kirby, Ninja Gaiden Naiden, Gaiden Ninja, Pac-Man Man, named Pac-Man, Man of Mario, the Donk, Peak, Mario again, Diddy, Mickey, and the rest. This I thought was funny. I made some joke to my mom. I was like, you're missing out on all the really good gachapon. You can get a USB micro cable. What's funny is that I think I needed one of these later in the trip for some reason. I can't remember exactly why, but I remember thinking back and going, could have got one, 100 yen from the gachapon machine. Here's just a little shot of Denden Land approaching. There's one of the big Mandarake buildings. Don't worry, we're gonna head in there, of course. I saw this Pokemon card store. It was just a little hole-in-the-wall place. I don't know, I just like looking at the expensive Pokemon cards, because sometimes I recognize them. This one, I couldn't really remember if I recognized it or not, or if I just remembered something similar. But as a kid, when I was really obsessed with Pokemon cards, I would get these physical guides that would talk about all of the English releases, which at that point were basically just like base set and jungle, like the first couple sets. And then they would also give all of the information they had about like Japanese promo cards, Japanese exclusive sets, stuff that hadn't come out in English yet, or perhaps never would in some cases. And those things were just like treasures to me. Like it was like unimaginable that all of these like secret cards could exist. And they usually had very sloppy or incomplete translations. And I would go, oh, what does this mean? What could this do? Like, why did this look so weird? So I think this is probably actually a fairly new card, but it just kind of reminded me of that. And I think later on I did see a couple of those promos. Here's an OG base set 1 Charizard for a cool 38,000 yen, which is a lot cheaper than the American equivalent. Pokemon cards did not see the insane bubble that they did in North America, in Japan. In North America, I don't know if people are aware of this, but it became like a trend on like normie YouTube that streamers like XQC would buy a box of Pokemon cards and like open them live, like an old set. And this caused a minor spike, or actually quite a major spike, but it hasn't totally declined from then either, of the value of Pokemon cards. But yeah, these I thought were interesting. They're from like Pokemon Rumble, a little promo kit or something, and selling for a lot of money. I suppose these are very rare. I don't know the provenance of them or anything. Here we are in Mandarake. This was a Mandarake that focused on toys and stuff, I think. I can't remember, but I thought this thing was pretty sweet. An original box, this transforming robot for a cool 380,000 yen. This guy I was just so interested in, and maybe we can really try to do a little bit of research here. Because they have all these like vinyl figures that I assume are from like Ultraman or whatever. And then every once in a while you'll see one that's just like crazy expensive. And I'm like, why is this guy so expensive compared to everything else? And I think I've already done this. I tried to look into it a little bit. And what it seems like is this looks like a retro toy, but this is actually a new toy. So Fubi sales fuck your mother. What? But yeah, this is like a new company making these collectibles. And so they're really rare and really expensive. Go to your mother's collector. We need to win the original price. Resist high prices. All the players who own him, except you who have money. You are nothing. Let those hypocritical people get out of here. I have stumbled onto something like really weird. Made in occupied Japan? Like what? What is any of this? But I think that's what's going on here. I don't know. I can't find exactly this guy. When I looked before, I was able to find like the Mangararake listing, because his name is Dragon Man. So maybe if we just search like Kaiju figure Dragon Man. Oh, that's way too generic. I don't know. Maybe it will remain mysterious. But it's like... Yeah, I don't think this is actually a retro toy. I think I had always been fooled by these, and that some of them are actually new companies making this sort of retro-style vinyl figure for hardcore collectibles. Anyways, this was a Mahojin Guru Guru thing. I really like this franchise. It was like a Dragon Quest parody in the 90s. And then has just sort of like survived in weird fashions ever since then. Ooh, also a Pink Panther Bear Brick. Like they got an anime adaptation in like 2016 for some reason. Just like very sporadically popping back into the cultural consciousness. But a very goofy, silly, cute series that I've really enjoyed. Some big tin robots. I always think these are cool. Now, these are actually old, right? They have to be. Look at the old boxes and stuff. I'm not getting fooled again, am I? Old school Astro Boy. I thought this looked really cool. I really like the vinyl head compared to the metal body. Able to really convey that half robot, kind of with a human heart feeling of Astro Boy. Or the Mighty Atom, I should say. Thought this was really cool. A tin figure of Godzilla. Down an arm. Who knows how expensive it would be if it had its arm. But it looks like you can like control him. That it's wired up that he can actually walk around when you like press the button. So that's pretty sweet. Two interesting series contrasted: Hare and Gu. Haru and Gu, maybe. This was a series I can remember being aware of, like way back when I was first getting into anime, and I would just buy like anime magazines as a little kid. I remember them talking about this series, and then later, a friend of mine who is the world's foremost expert on stupid anime that he just watches every goofy comedy series, was telling me that this one's actually kind of a banger. And then in front, Dead Demons Destruction. Not for sale? Fuck you. I love this series. The OVA is apparently airing right now. I gotta freaking get on that. But yeah. Another big wall of Jump. I think I've taken several pictures of these at different mandarakes, but they always inspire such feelings of awe and reverence and joy. Here you can see some pretty modern ones, like this is probably when Akane Banashi started in 2021. This is probably when Dear Anemone started. Dr. Sloan, what? Dr. Stone, and this was called Build King. Sengoku made the cover a few times. Some Chainsaw Mans, not in this magazine anymore. This is maybe the end of We Can't Study. It's just, the history just pours out of it. This, I think, was to celebrate Gintama ending, that Gintama made the spine for the whole year. I see some slam dunks, some Kochikame, like, it's just, this magazine is just so thick and rich with history that the whole wall is, it's just, the history of manga itself, or at least shonen manga, is just here, physically, on this wall. It brings me such joy. And then some other magazines too. So this is about as far back as Shonen Jump can get. Way back in like the early or mid to late 60s, I suppose. And then some this is Shonen Magazine, and then this is where Jump starts. But yeah, it goes back a long ways. That is history. There's some more in here. Jumps everywhere. And then this, I think, is Shonen Magazine as well. I don't know. Big variety of magazines, but obviously Jump takes up a lot of space. Yeah, this is as far back as you can buy weekly Jumps. At this mandarake, at least. And just as I've been working on the database and reading blogs and really trying to come to understand like these earliest eras of Jump, it's like it's pretty amazing what the magazine became. Because in the early years, it was fairly limited in what kind of like genres and subject matters and stuff were even in kind of consideration. Like it was mostly baseball and hooligans. And then gag comedy, which could be kind of about everything. But the idea of like a super powered battle shonen had not really been invented yet. The concept of even sports besides baseball hadn't really been invented yet. The lewd rom-com, we're still years out from that. These staple genres of Jump, even like non-superpowered martial arts series, didn't really get a foothold until the early 70s. But you can see like, oh wow, there's Lupin. A lot of the art styles are pretty similar across different series, except for whatever the hell's going on here. There's basically just like the gag style and then the non-gag style. You might think, wow, this one series gets a lot of representation. There's probably like 5 or 6 different series. They all just kind of look like this. And it's pretty just mind-blowing to see how quickly it transformed and evolved. And you can say continues to transform and evolve into series about exorcists. That's all they got now. So this is some Shonen Magazine, I believe. Well, all it says is Shonen. I don't know Shonen what, but I think it's Shonen Magazine. Here you can see ones all the way back through the 60s. I was thinking about, I can get my mom one from, the year she was born. Because I keep trying to buy people some manga that was published right around when they were born. I think that's pretty fun. But yeah, my mom was born, obviously, in the 60s, and it was all really expensive. Here was a wall of sort of notable Jumps, specifically a whole bunch of times Slam Dunk made the cover, one of the most popular series Jump has ever had. one that kickstarted basketball as a sport in Japan in many ways. And then a bunch showing Dr. Slump, one of my most beloved series. One that really transformed the layout of Jump in its own way, super significantly. Like, I don't know, just the artistry, for better or worse, Toriyama raised the bar so high with just the artistry and detail and expressiveness of his characters in Dr. Slump. And then, of course, a lot of very notable Dragon Ball Z chapters as well. Like, I don't know, this is probably the last issue, maybe? Or when they finally defeat Kid Buu here as well. I don't know. Are they fighting Kid Buu? I don't know what's going on. And then going all the way back to OG pre-Z Dragon Ball. This is probably the end of... Oh, this is maybe 7th anniversary of Dragon Ball. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, really exciting to see these. I like that both there is a deep organizational respect for Jump in general, that they just have all of these issues sorted going back decades. And then I think it's only fair that these very special issues get highlighted and get a higher price tag, and then you get to see this kind of like condensed highlight reel of Jump. This is some super, super old Tezuka manga selling for 220,000 yen. This one I had never heard of before. The Wonderful Journey. Fushigi Trip. Diary of a Mysterious Trip. But it looks fun. And this is, you know, the birthplace of manga. There it is right there. This is how it all started. Was, you know, the most revolutionary artist that ever lived. This series jumped out to me, and I'd never heard of it before. I just really like the subtitle Guernica of Paradise. You know, it speaks to me of like the Picasso painting and stuff, not just the real city Guernica. So I took a picture of it so I could remember it and look it up later, and then I didn't. So let's do it now. Interesting. Never localized. Has it been scanlated? Oh. Google knows what I want. Oh. They got us started. Got most of the way through volume 1. Huh. Okay. Well, it's maybe not as interesting as I thought it would be, because it seems to be mostly just like a war series with atypical art. But yeah, you know, now we know. This shirt I saw at Mandarake, I was very confused as to what the heck it was. Enter the Mutant Clan. It's like a modified Wu-Tang logo stuff. I'm still confused, but there it is. Galaxy Express 999 cosplay kit. We watched this movie in Anime Club a while ago. I really liked it. It's so strange and charming, and just kind of speaks to a different era of Japan. So I made this album of, I thought, appropriate pictures to show my family members. And this one kind of slipped in, so we're gonna remove this from the album. But let's appreciate first that I did find some Undertale Yaoi Dojinshi. Okay, goodbye. And then here is a mannequin cosplaying that very same cosplay kit I took a picture of, which I thought was pretty cool. It's just nice to see a movie that's kind of like a cult classic that makes its way into the Western consciousness, and, you know, we knew to watch it, and we knew that it would be interesting, and then to know that it's celebrated among these fortresses and strongholds of otakuism is very exciting to me. Wrecking Crew 98. I've been playing this game on my Switch. It's really freaking hard because the buffer is extremely long and annoying, and the mechanics are so arcane and strange, but it's a really neat game, and I was excited to see it here because I'd just been playing it on my Switch. Here is 2 Bochi box sets that are both insanely expensive. I mean, Blu-ray box sets are going to be expensive. Like, here you can see Ping Pong is also even more expensive. But ping pong is like old and kind of like a cult classic. Whereas Bochi just aired like 2 years ago. 2 years ago? Just last year, really. Yeah, it's not even like a year old now. And it's already selling for this much used. And it just, I think, really speaks to how gigantic and obsessive the Bochi cult became so quickly and so kind of unexpectedly, and how I think a lot of these releases are kind of scrambling to catch up with the demand. Same here. This is just a little Bochi blind box figure, probably. It might even be Gachapon. And it's teeny tiny. And it's 3,380. You live and you learn. This is a big Miku. I talked before of it. I was trying to find a Miku figure for my friend, so I sent her this, and I was like, this is another big one. You can see we're in the Miku zone here in Lashenbang. This I thought was really, really awesome. This is a pre-NES Nintendo console. So we can see exactly what this thing could do. Color TV game. The first video game ever made by Nintendo. See, I thought this was the 6th one. I thought there was like quite a few of these. But I guess it started at 6 for some reason. Color, yeah, so this is the first thing, really, that Nintendo released as a consumer product outside of arcade stuff. I'm pretty sure it predates the Game & Watch as well. But yeah, isn't that nuts? It comes with the box and an AC adapter, and you can really play this thing. There's not much to it. I guess it's 6 because there's 6 games. Came out in 1977. Contains 6 versions of Pong, such as adding additional paddles, decreasing the size of the paddles, and adding deflective shields in the... Alright! Alright! Amazing. That's how it started. Wow. Alright. So yeah, that was very cool to see. And it's not that expensive either. Maybe someday I will get the TV Game 6 just to complete a collection. Big plushie of Chopper and Defense Point. I thought that was very cute. Let me just check my Discord messages. Yeah, what a cutie. I didn't take any plushes back, besides a little tiny one as a souvenir for a friend. I learned later that the strat is just to get them vacuum sealed, and you can actually go places and get them vacuum sealed, which also looks really funny, because they look like they're fucking dead. So I don't know, maybe because you find like really cheap, really cute plushies of characters you love, but it's just such a pain to put them in your luggage. This I was excited for, a big display of the series Momo. This is the new manga by the creator of Yuru Camp. I haven't actually started reading it yet, but I'm really excited for it. It seems the same sort of comfy fun of Yuru Camp. I think it's getting localized now too, which is exciting. Maybe the anime isn't far behind. Yuru Camp was such a whoa, TV anime! Yeah, the TV anime production has been decided. I guess that's why there's a big stand. Okay, sweet. Here's the sign for Denden Town Station. My one and true home. As much as I love Akiba, as much as I love Nakano Broadway, Denden Town has a special place as the first otaku district that I fully explored so many years ago. So here I started heading back. I'm not sure why I took a video of this. Maybe I was trying to capture the moving lights, but I didn't do a good job. This is a great picture too. And then here we are back in Shinsekai. It's around 7:30, all the night lights and stuff are on. And I was going to meet up with my mom, have some dinner. Nice, nice. Oh yeah, I got this on the way back. I really, really like this peach drink, nectar. I get it from vending machines all the time. I even get it here in North America. They sell it. And I had never had the sorbet version of it before, but it's amazing. It just tasted like a frozen version of the drink. Ooh, I got this. There'll be another video later just showing off all of the fun things I bought, but I'll call this out since it shows up in this video. This is like a strategy guide for DDR that was printed around the time the DDR actually came out and covers only first mix. But it has like step charts of every song, including tips and tricks on like the flow of your feet and where you should do crossovers and where you should do double steps and whatever. It has like commentary on each track, on each chart, on each difficulty. Basically, they went about as exhaustive as they could, and given that there's not really that many songs to talk about yet, it was quite exhaustive indeed. So that's very neat. I was happy to find this, the DDR Performance Guide. And I got a corn mayo bread from 7-Eleven. Here you can see the compare contrast, the drink and the ice cream, both phenomenal. And then today it's the next day, and we are heading out to Kyoto. Yeah, my mind went totally blank. I was like, we're heading out to Osaka. Wait, no? We're in Osaka. So yes, we went from Osaka to Kyoto. This is at the big Osaka train station to catch the Shinkansen. This Dungeon Meshi book, I think this is one of the like Daydream Fantasies or something. Terrarium and Drawer. I'm not sure what this is exactly. But it's the mangaka of Dungeon Meshi. Dungeon Meshi related, too lazy to read. But I really like this little Dungeon Meshi section. They had some merch and stuff. Very cute. I love this series so much. I love the anime adaptation. The original manga is one of my favorites ever. Hello Kitty train going by. Unfortunately, we did not ride the Hello Kitty train. I don't know how you can guarantee that, but at least we got to see it pull up to our station. Very cute. We got, of course, more Ekiben. I got this fish one. It was just a nice chunk of mackerel. Oh my gosh, that looks good. My hungry ass should not be making videos where half the pictures are about food. But yeah, really, really nice fish. Some pictures from our journey. I think this is heading out of Osaka. Not yet heading into Kyoto. But lovely rolling hills and what have you. Underpass of a bridge. Some farms. Maybe this is like a semi-commercial farm or community farm. So here we are in Kyoto on this elevator that I was like, am I crazy? Or this escalator that I was like, am I crazy or is this like the slowest escalator in the whole goddamn world? It's slow, right? I don't know, it's like hard to convey how slow it felt. Maybe it was just because we were just on the Shinkansen. Our speed perceptions were skewed. Big Kyoto Tower. So, Kyoto. I love Kyoto. I think it's very beautiful. I think it's the best place to get a taste of old world Japan. I think there's a lot of things that are especially good, especially traditional, have, you know, the longevity and the history and stuff in Kyoto. There's too many tourists. And that sounds insane for me to say as a tourist. I know, I'm part of the problem. And in retrospect, I kind of felt like we didn't really need to go to Kyoto. Like, we had a really lovely time in Kyoto, and we saw a lot of really neat stuff that maybe we wouldn't have seen anywhere else, but we also could have seen it in Tokyo or in Osaka had we searched it out. And basically, it's like Kyoto is just that much smaller, and the famous wards are that much more condensed and fewer, that they really are just getting super, super saturated with tourism. And, you know, basically all the stories you hear about rude tourists in Japan, tourists crossing lines, wards restricting tourism out. It's all happening in Kyoto. uh, and we were part of the problem, but the problem was very evident. Starting at the train station where they said emphatically, please do not take your luggage on the bus. People need to use these buses to commute. It is impossible for the entire commuting force to come and go if half the bus is full of tourists hauling 2 gigantic bags each. And that's totally fair. So we started by taking a taxi to our ryokan. Basically, my thinking was, okay, well, we're already way down in Osaka. We're already in West Japan. And I thought it would be nice for my mom to experience a ryokan. I think they're, very cool and unique and interesting. And where better to go to a ryokan than Kyoto? And I think that's like a fairly valid reason to go to Kyoto. I don't know if it's like entirely super necessary, but that was our intent. Here we are in the taxi. Choo-pa-choo-pa-choo. Some stores on the side, antique store. Had some interesting figures and stuff. Cute little statues. Like this doggy. Very cute, very cute. We saw quite a bit of rickshaw traffic in and around Kyoto. I think it's sort of a tourist-oriented service. But the thing is, too, there's also a lot of internal Japanese tourism to Kyoto, right? Which you would hope would be better behaved and stuff. But it's kind of like they're just dealing with both a rise in internal tourism in Japan and a rise of tourism as a whole, and then a huge disproportionate rise of Japan as tourist destination, and then an even more disproportionate rise of Kyoto as destination spot within Japan. Anyways, this is all to say that it was a big confluence of factors, but we just saw hella tourists all the time, everywhere. Everywhere tourists. And even when I thought those Japanese-looking people that could be conceivably Japanese, sure are being rude and not following the rules, they're often speaking Chinese. And it's like, oh, it is still tourists. Because, some tourists you can spot from a mile away. Other tourists, only later do you realize, oh, these are tourists, and that's what's going on here. But yeah, more shots from outside of our taxi. Here we are at the ryokan. They had 2 very friendly dogs that immediately came to greet us, and were kind of in and around the lobby all the time. They were super cute. A board of money from around the world. They already got a Canadian one. Oh well, we can contribute. Throw in $5 bills, Wilfrid Laurier. Hontoni arigato from these French people. But yeah, lots of nice notes from all over the world. This I took a picture of more for our information that later they were going to have a Maiko show. This is a geisha in training, and we did indeed go to that show, so you'll learn a whole lot more about that later. This is our room. It was very lovely. Traditional tatami mats and everything you'd want from a ryokan. These sorts of sliding wooden windows and the low table, and just so comfy and nice and cool with the air conditioning. And it was so nice. It was I don't know, man. It just hits. The ryokan just hits. So I was kind of hoping, one thing I was looking forward to is that when I had stayed in a ryokan before, we got like a full washoku dinner of multiple courses and stuff served to us in our room. And I thought, is that kind of like typical of ryokan, I guess? But no, I think we just kind of stayed in a fairly fancy one, and this one was more middle of the road, but it was still really just lovely and homey and warm, and they treated us so nicely and were so proactively nice about so many things. There's the tatami floor. Our bathroom, we both took a picture of the bathroom. It's just how we are. Nice cherry blossoms on the side of the tub. And then very soon after we checked in, they came in and brought us green tea, some berries, and a little waffle roll, which was nice. A nice little snack upon our arrival. There's the beds. I like this little screen area. The ceiling. Close up of the bed. This was from out the window. This is the little entrance area, closet, the little step down where you put your shoes on. Some art, little pony. Close up of the screen. This is from out the window. You can see up one of Kyoto's kind of famous hills. Very lovely, very beautiful. So this was funny. My phone has the 0.5x zoom. And what it does is it switches the lens to like be like more of a fisheye lens or something. I honestly don't really understand how it works on like a mechanical level. It's some sort of fisheye lens. I don't know how it swaps to it. But at any rate, it essentially lets you zoom out even when you are not zoomed in. I remember encountering this for the first time. I was at a baseball game with some friends. And somebody, my friend next to me, he had taken a picture that showed the field and the CN Tower. Okay? And I was like, ooh, that's a nice picture. And so I'm like trying to get the same shot. I was like, what the heck? I can't get the tower and the baseball diamond in the same frame. Like, so I was like, yo, Krishna, like, how'd you take that picture? Like, is it like a pan thing? It's like a panorama stitched together? And he's like, no, I just use 0.5 zoom. I was like, 0.5 zoom? Like, what? My phone doesn't have that. And he's like, see, look, I click it and I zoom out. I was like, what? How does that work? And he's like, I don't know. And then we tried to figure it out for a while. The best we could come up with is it must be some sort of fisheye lens that's gathering a wider range and then using some sort of technology, software magic on the inside to make it not look distorted, but to stitch together like an actual picture. At any rate, I've actually been using it all throughout this trip. There's been many pictures we've already looked at that were shot in 0.5x, but you can't even tell. Like, it doesn't look fish-eyed or anything. It just looks like you were standing further away, which is really cool. So, this is just the first time where I know for sure that this one was taken with the 0.5x, because I was taking this one, and then I zoomed out, and I was like, oh, there's a pagoda there. Because, like, you couldn't even see this from the angle of the window. The window stops, like, here. And I had to kind of, like, crane my neck and look in a weird way, and then I could actually see this pagoda. But my phone saw it first. I was just like, wow. Technology is so cool. So, yeah, there it is. So then we set out on a little adventure in Kyoto. Heading up the street here. So we were right in and around Higashiyama, which is near Gion Ward, and Gion is like the really, really famous geisha district. So I was kind of hoping we were out of the main kind of firing line of tourism, like not in the most tourist dense area. I tried to pick a spot that was like also fairly downtown, like accessible to downtown, but remote enough that we weren't going to be like swarmed with tourism, because I knew tourism was bad. And I think I kind of succeeded on all fronts. Like, our neighborhood was mostly like other ryokan. There's a big tanuki. Oh, this is our ryokan. Yeah, this is taking a picture of our ryokan on the way out. The establishments around us were mostly other ryokan. Some nice old houses, some really, really fancy looking restaurants. But there wasn't a ton of tourism. It was mostly people kind of heading into Gion and stuff. So it was nice. So we started making our way to a park that was near there, where I had seen really good reviews for a cafe there. We thought this was just a nice way to get out and start to see this kind of area of Kyoto. Because to me, this is really the essential Kyoto experience, is just seeing these old buildings, those famous sloping streets with wonderful old businesses that have been around for hundreds of years on each side. Doggy. So yeah, we got to see quite a bit of that. Buddha statue. Always interesting to kind of like compare how frequently you see Buddhist stuff with how frequently you see Shinto stuff in any area of Japan. And I suppose Christian stuff in a distant third place you can also notice here and there. But yeah, nice Buddha. Some shrines we got to kind of see on our way. Very lovely. Big old wooden gates. Long path into the park here. Just lovely old pine trees. Old. Ah, yeah, and then around here, a very nice old man came up. He just seemed like the type that enjoys making conversation with people and certainly wanted to practice and maybe show off his English, which was actually very good. Came and asked us how we were liking Kyoto. Have we been in Japan before? Are we having a fun time? What kind of stuff have we been doing? We had a nice chat with him. He offered to take our picture, which is nice. And then my mom took a picture of him. She said, "Oh, I'd like to remember meeting you." I thought that was very nice, a nice idea. He's throwing up the peace sign, like every Japanese person does. So yeah, very nice old man. Really a lovely chance encounter. Little Pokemon manhole cover. You know, Nintendo is Kyoto, headquartered in Kyoto. It's been there for like 200 years now. So there's a lot of Nintendo stuff, and that's very exciting. And we'll see more of it later. But yeah, the babies, Igglybuff and Cleffa and Pichu. I thought of the Japanese name for Cleffa is like Pipi, and I thought of that first. And this is like Pudururin or something. There's big carp in this pond. God knows how old they are. They might be decades old. So that was neat to see. There they are. Big monster carp. I'm sure they come to the surface.
It is amazing.
When I don't know what I was saying is amazing. I guess the carp. They see your shadow, right? And they're trained to think that you might feed them something, so they all kind of swarm around to anybody standing at the edge of the pond. Nice old Japanese maple. So this is the park that we walked to. See this lovely pond that we were looking at before. Not too crowded, not too crazy. I think we managed to just kind of skirt the edges of the tourism zone while still seeing a lot of the stuff we wanted from the Kyoto aesthetic. Like, this is so lovely. So this is the little cafe tea house we went to that was right in the middle of the park. But shockingly, again, not that busy. So that was really nice. This was our view from our table. Can't ask for better than that. And then I got something I was really excited about. I've never done this before. But it's like roasting your own dango. So dango are sort of like mochi. I think they're even like chewier and stickier than mochi, and they're served on these sticks. And then I'd seen in like manga and anime and stuff that people will roast these on a little charcoal flame. Typically for New Year's, I think this is done quite often. And they had that here. You get to do it yourself. I was so excited, and it came with some really nice matcha. I'm not like a matcha expert. I'm not like a matcha snob or anything. I just enjoy matcha a lot, but I'll take any matcha. But I can tell when it's really good. I can tell when it's a cut above, and I get really excited if I get that opportunity. So this was nice. And then my mom got a chocolate vanilla roll cake type thing. So the presentation is really lovely. She said it was delicious. So yeah, here I am roasting my dango. They're really tasty. And then you see you can dip them in anko and red bean paste. Or I think this is... it's something sweet. It was like a sweet syrup. I'm not sure exactly what it was, but it was really good. But yeah, very fun. This is what I got. Grilling dango on traditional charcoal grill. I didn't take a great picture of this. If it was less shiny, maybe I'd be able to find, what this dipping thing was. But yeah, it was really good. Then we headed back out. we're gonna head back into the main city. Another heron, or I guess a stork or a crane. I don't know. One of those three. It was just chilling. It was like posing for pictures. It did not care at all how much attention it was getting. But nice. The statue was interesting. It's like a pigeon. I'm not really sure what's going on there, but okay. Nice, beautiful old tree. Torii Gate. Big Torii Gate. So we got to head kind of down through the park back into the city. Nice little shrine here. Big shrine area. So this is all Shinto. You can add points to your Shinto score if you're keeping track at home. But yeah, really lovely, just kind of complex of temples and stuff in the southern side of this park. As we headed through, parking area, beautiful old wood building, big stone torii. This is maybe a 0.5er, because this seems distended. I may have noticed a flaw, but whatever. Wow, this is like, what a great picture this is. This looks like official tourism picture. But yeah, big entryway on our way out. There's our and no, this one's this one's the dragons or lions, lion dog, whatever it is. Open and closed mouth. Yeah, pretty cool. It's good to see that stuff, you know, very Kyoto-y. Some lovely flowers. This is another great shot. I think these buildings are just so photogenic. And the lighting was really good. Impossible not to take a good picture of them. We saw this Denny's gachapon. I thought it was very silly. I don't think I got one though. This was from the Kyoso Giga, the original manga. Move over, Tezuka. This is the true origins of manga. I thought this was pretty funny. It's the rabbits and frogs and stuff. A little more modernized, you know, slipping on a banana peel, running over with a phone. Neat. I ended up getting one. So this is heading, you can see over here where we came from, and then more into the depths of the city. A lot of people sitting out by the riverbank. Really lovely. Great time of night to be doing that. Maybe having a snack on the way home from work or chatting. Actually, it looks very coupley. Couple. This is more of a mixed zone maybe, but yeah, maybe this is a couples activity. So very nice. On the other side, you can see distant hills and the city of Kyoto. Yes. So, our objectives heading into the city. The main one was the Nintendo Kyoto store. And oh baby, what a store it was. Here I am with the big man himself, as big as I've ever seen him, posing on the edge of the warp pipe as we headed into, you know, the Nintendo headquarters stores. Oh wait, but first. So yeah, it was in this big, like 7-story mall, and we weren't really sure where it was gonna be in there. And when we got in on the bottom floor, it was all just like designer fashion and stuff. A lot of perfume stalls, and it's like, this doesn't seem right. This is just kind of like a department store. Is the Nintendo store really here? We couldn't find a directory. I don't know. We decided to just start going up floors, and then we ran into the other thing I was looking for. Is I knew there was a Mandarake somewhere around there, and my mom had yet to see a Mandarake, and I thought she would find it pretty cool. You know, not that she had to exhaustively explore it, but just to get a sense of the vibes. So we toured around the Kyoto Mandarake, as every Mandarake does. It has a nice big display cabinet out front. I really like the torii gates. You enter in with this Nobura, whatever that thing is called, ominous painting over top, the classic yokai. Yeah, I don't know. It was a nice Mandarake. I saw like 12 Mandarake over this trip. It isn't in like the top 3, but a good one, a good representation for my mom to see. And it kickstarted such an insane obsession they were playing one of the Yokai Watch openings while I was in there. Get a po. Okay? This song is extremely catchy. This song is like dangerously catchy. And I kind of recognized it, but I didn't recognize it as a Yokai Watch opening. I'm sure I had just heard it randomly here and there at some point around when it had come out back in 2015. But it was like super stuck in my head. And I can remember later that night I was taking a bath and I was just Googling like Gara go. Get a gone. Like what were they saying exactly? What is this song? I was even trying to sing it into the Google song recognizer thing. And then I finally remembered that my phone has an archive of the songs that it has like passively heard and ID'd. And thank God it was in there. And I was like, yes. And then ever since that day, I've been listening to it like once a day, at least, because it is so catchy. And even now, just describing it, it has started to play full blast inside my head. What a banger. Thank you, Mandarake, for bringing this masterpiece back into my life. Here's a bunch of old vinyl figures and stuff. Old Gundam, probably from like the 70s. It's wild. Again, it's like, now I'm like suspicious. Are some of these in fact modern retros? But I don't know. I think those at least are super old school. I don't know, maybe this guy. Maybe I'm getting tricked. This I thought was neat. The old transformable robot for a huge price tag. I was always just taking pictures of really expensive ones because just so curious, you know, like maybe I can learn more about this later, find out why it is so in demand. We can do it now. Robo Combattler. Combine and battle. Wow. That's a lot of money. That is a lot of money. Neat. I guess it's like full complete in box, you know? Somebody really wanted to combattle. But yeah, they had a few, and then a few really giant robots. It's kind of like, you sort of want to believe in the idea that some kid got this, you know, their parents scrimped and saved, they clenched onto this one relic of their childhood, and then years later they got a nice payday because now they're so in demand. I think typically, though, these were rich kids' toys. These, I bet, were owned by rich kids who didn't play with them much because they had a bunch of other toys, and that's why they stayed in good condition and in their boxes. And these are toys that were probably pretty expensive at the time. Like, this is probably, you know, obviously it wasn't this much money, but this was probably like, I don't know, like 40, 50 bucks new. You know, the true poor kid was probably getting a robot kid half this size that could transform into half as many things and could barely combattle at all. So I don't know. You can be cynical about it. I guess I'm being cynical about it now, but it is what it is. Some Moomin stuff. I love Moomin. Always happy to see Moomin merch. Neat old Volkswagen. My mom has always loved the old Volkswagen Beetles. She has one now. She bought an old one a bit ago that she likes to tour around in. So it's neat to see that. Coca-Cola, welcome to Japan. Britain-Japan unity. Some old kind of touristic merch maybe. I thought this thing was really neat. It's like a boat that plays a xylophone as it travels. So you roll it along and then it plinks out a little melody. Kind of like a player piano. Very cool. This was like really weird. Specimens of infant feces. It's like a medical chart to help you diagnose your infant. Let's stop looking at it. What the hell? Why was this here? This I thought was pretty interesting. Recommended souvenir manga. The start of that masterpiece is here. It's just the first volume. of a lot of really famous series and stuff that I guess, you know, they recommend people new to manga or people that want to buy manga as a souvenir. These are some classics of classics. And well enough, you know, we got I already ran into one, I don't know. Sailor Moon. Oh, Sailor Moon. Akira. Can't really tell what this is. Oh, this is the well, this is like the another future after future Dragon Ball Dojin series that became quite a phenomenon when pictures from it were posted on like a nascent internet and said, "Hey, this is the new sequel to Dragon Ball GT." It was when GT was airing. People were like, "Oh, holy crap!" No, it was just some guy's doujinshi. Except that now, I'm pretty sure this doujinshi artist is the artist for Dragon Ball Super. Like, it's kind of become real in a sense. This is Something Dream. I'm not sure what this is. Anyways, One Piece, Dragon Ball, JJK, JoJo's, some other Oda stuff, Demon Slayer, Detective Conan, Slam Dunk. What's this? Shite Handa. City Hunter. FMA, Full Metal Alchemist, Vinland Saga, Initial D. Beru Seruko. Beru Seruko. Don't know what that is. Han Bodo. Han Eh? Sailor Moon, Paradise Kiss. Yeah, I don't know. K-On! I don't know. Lots of classics. Yatsuba, Nana. Neat. Old Disney comics, I thought. This was pretty amazing. I don't know what's in here exactly. It would be neat if they were the old Carl Barks Duck comics, which I talked about this in a previous video, but that was a major inspiration on Tezuka for what manga could look like, was seeing these duck comics that were just so adventurous and so bold and so cinematic, and it would be neat to kind of see exactly what Tezuka might have been reading way back then. But this is sort of like a generic Disney compilation. I have no idea if it had Tezuka or not. Box set of the Twilight Zone in Japanese. I thought that was pretty cool. Big empty scroll. I don't know what that is. This is just some neat art. We're heading out of Mandarake now. And here we are at the Nintendo store. Yeehaw! It was a lot more exciting than the Nintendo World Nintendo stores. That's for dang sure. Because they had more Mario stuff to begin with, and then non-Mario things as well. Like this nice little Animal Crossing section. Just lovely merch of all types, and like houseware stuff and apparel and more plushies than you could ever imagine. There's Raymond and can't remember this guy, but these were like the top two villagers when New Horizons came out. But a lot of the more popular villagers get plushies too. Neat. This person is Stan Smith's. Good for them. Yeah, what's this guy's name? I can't remember. But whatever. With his buddy Raymond. Cute little Pikmin shirt. Big wall of amiibos. Kirby stuff. Oh, it was excellent. I easily could have spent hundreds and hundreds of dollars there. I basically went in being like, I'm going to get a few small things, okay? I'm going to get a few small things. This can't be some big highfalutin spend $1 billion. I don't have the luggage space. I don't have the money. But man, there's a lot of stuff I wanted. Just so many great plushies. This guy, what's his name too? We were looking at this guy and like trying to figure out his name and stuff. And one of the people working there came up. And I had a nice little chat with them in Japanese. I was like, oh, this person lives on my mom's island. So that's why she picked him up. Oh, yeah, then she was like, oh, look, we can do a little photo op. The staff employee said it there. It's cute. Very cute. I really like the sweater, too. the Butsunomori, the animal forest. Oh man, so great. There's all the Mario stuff over here. They had the Animal Crossing Lego, which I hadn't seen in person before. I think it's pretty cool. Like, and I think it makes sense to make this, you know, more about this like modularity and like little accessories, and you can put together like your island with all these little things. But you know what I really want? No, what are they called? Modular building series. These guys. These are like some of the most beautiful Lego sets I think they've ever made. Hey, wait, there's way more than these. I guess those were just the ones that are like even close to being in stock. But yeah, they've been making these semi-frequently since 2007. And they're just like really detailed minifigure scale buildings. And I love them. I love them. I think they're so neat. There's just so much detail in like every little aspect of it. I want that for Animal Crossing. I don't care if it costs hundreds of dollars. At some point, I will just give in and become an adult fan of Lego, I'm sure. But yeah. Daisy was here after 0 appearances at Super Nintendo World. The Nintendo store remembered she existed. Lots of plushes of all sorts of Nintendo characters. Big Yoshis and Yoshi eggs and Yoshis of every color. The Rosalina and Peach and the Koopa kids. There's Roy. There's Wendy O. There's a Paragoomba. There's a Dry Bones. Cappy's back there. Toadette is there. Captain Toad is there. Everybody's here. This is my mom and Waluigi making a weird face. she was like, "Can I see the pictures?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." She's like, "Oh, I'm making such a weird face." More normal face. She likes Waluigi. We all love Waluigi. And here I am with Wario. They didn't get their due. They didn't get their flowers at Nintendo World. Nintendo World does not know these guys exist. I think because they weren't in the movie. But we remember. There's Toadette. I love Toadette. There's some Koopas, some Dry Bones, Metal Mario, Fire Mario, Cappy, Bombs, Cheeps, Booze. I just want them all. I want them all. And in a more lucrative financial situation with a larger suitcase to fill, I would have got so many of these little guys. More Wario. In the back you can see the Fire Flower. Or more Waluigi, I mean. Kuribo's Shoe Mario, Propeller Hat Mario, Cat Peach, Cat Luigi. The gang is all here. All of my friends are here. Yoshi's with big eggs. I like this Yoshi teapot a lot too. Molds for Yoshi cookies. Oh, it's so great. It's all so great. Oh, this was like a little thing for Pikmin Bloom. I don't know how it works exactly. Like, I don't know what this is. But for my friend who plays Pikmin Bloom, if you're watching this, see if you can scan the video. Maybe the thing will still work. It doesn't know you're not in Japan. And then I think you get one of these little hats or something. I guess it does know you're not in Japan, though, because it has GPS. But good luck. Maybe it'll work. This was like a whole bunch of little erasers, you know, Pikmin, Splatoon stuff. I guess it's just Pikmin and... Oh, there's some Animal Crossing stuff, too. You could fill a little jar with these little erasers. So cute. It's a fun little souvenir type thing. Oh, there's Link. Mario, you know. The whole gang is here. So it's like a wall of just more generic Nintendo products. This was kind of the design line that they were working with. Really like this one of Female Villager and Isabelle. That's so cute. I main girl villager in Mario Kart. I always play as her. Very near and dear to my heart. Then we went up to the roof. There was a little photo op area. The gang is all here. So yeah, this is like the Nintendo Store iconography. Is all of these characters kind of running together. It's kind of interesting that it situates itself at a certain time because you've got Twilight Princess Link and not Breath of the Wild Link. I don't know. Maybe they're just keeping this one because it's a little more classic. But I think it's also just that it hasn't been updated in a little bit. Who knows? I don't know. Big bench of blocks. Here we are. Yeehaw! Yippee! They said specifically, oh, you can touch the pole when you pose. I was like, alright, sweet. I'm going to clear the level then. Yay, here we are. They took a bunch for us. Very nice. Oh yeah, and I wanted to take a picture of this on our way out. They're little wind-up Pikmin toys. I thought they were so cute. They all move in like unique ways. Then we decided to check out this sort of food market area that was in the same department store. See if there was anything we wanted to grab for Denden. I don't think we ended up getting anything here. The McDonald's, there's a McCafe that had macarons, I'm sorry. That was very surprising, McDonald's macarons. Here's the bridge again. We were slowly making our way back to the hotel. This was a very grand looking restaurant. There's a guy like DJing on the street. Very rare occurrence for kind of, especially like this area of Kyoto. I was very surprised, but you know, it's always going to be some sort of nightlife. This was a kabuki theater. That was neat. They had these like little mask things in the entryway. Here's me surreptitiously taking a picture without breaking my stride. Tourism pro right there. We ended up going kind of just randomly to this little restaurant that we happened to pass by. And we saw the menu outside and, no, it looks good. I got a beer. Felt like a nice beer. I thought this thing was neat. I'd never seen this before. It holds the knife upright. Cool. And then it was really nice. I saw on the menu they had omurice. And I was kind of hankering for some omurice. So I asked if they had it. Oh, the omurice is only the lunch menu. I was, shoot. And then they went, well, let me ask the chef. And the chef agreed to whip me up some off-menu omurice. I was like, very exciting. It was very good. It came with a little assortment of breads. Here's my omurice split open, mixing in the egg and the rice and everything. My mom got scallops, which were really phenomenal scallops. I had a bit of one. Came with various root veggies and stuff, this nice sauce. And then we started heading back to the hotel. We wanted to go see the geisha show, or the Maiko show. So this kind of gives you a sense of what Higashiyama is like. There's all these little alleyways and small streets lined with old wooden houses and stuff. Dogi. Here we are back. They had left us some nice little snacks in our room, a croissant with cream, some bananas, a little decrusted peanut butter sandwich. Then we went down to the common area for the Maiko show. They had this set up. It was nice. There was a group of, I'd say, about 12 of us, and we were all tourists that had come out to watch this, all just sort of seated at these low tables. It was nice. It was just a very nice atmosphere, you know. We were all tourists. We were all curious, having a good time. These folks had never met before, but they really hit it off. I was just eavesdropping on them chatting. Dog coming up to sniff my mom. These girls were Chinese, I'm pretty sure. In a group of 5, they were chatting. They offered complimentary beer or sake. I had a sake. It was really lovely. And here she is, the Maiko. So she was 17, I think? 15, 16, 17? No, I think 17, yeah. Because she was fairly close to graduating into a full geisha. And she came out and did a little Q&A so we could ask her, you know... I asked a few questions. I always end up asking questions in situations like this because I feel like there's at least some people that are too nervous or too shy to ask questions. and I'm not. And so I feel like because I do not have that debuff and I am perfectly happy to ask questions, then I should ask questions instead of, just letting the opportunity pass if other people don't feel up to it. So I asked stuff like, what made you want to become a geisha? She talked about how she had grown up in a small town out in the countryside, but her mom was from Kyoto, and her mom had told her about geisha and stuff, and she just had this image in her mind of how prestigious and beautiful and skilled and talented and wonderful they were. So she sought out a geisha school in Kyoto. We learned about her lifestyle, which is really weird. And I kind of have like, I don't know, we could get into it really in depth for a while about these really alternative lifestyles that one can lead yourself into. That really, she does not go to a normal school, she does not have a normal social life, she's not even allowed to have a cell phone. She has like friends and stuff, but they're mostly from within her school and mostly friends acquired through geisha training. That this soul tradition of maikos and all the different rituals and kind of progression and stuff, like, it just makes her so out of sync with normal culture. It's kind of unnerving almost, but it's sort of awe-inspiring in another way, just seeing someone who has chosen to live her life in such a different way. Yeah, I don't know. And then it's kind of like, but is it good? Like, you give up a lot of opportunities doing that. There's a lot of, the hallmarks of a normal life, a normal teenager's life that you don't get to have. And not that they're necessarily all good, but it's sort of like when you get out into adult society, you kind of just have to be a geisha. And if you don't want to be a geisha anymore, it's kind of like, what do? You missed out on a lot of really foundational socializing and education, and it's going to be an uphill battle, to compensate for those things. I don't know. It's pretty wild though. It was quite an opportunity, and she was really wonderful. She was so professional and charming and so skilled, and all the different stuff she showed us, and her English was fantastic. I spoke with her in Japanese a bit too. Again, just kind of trying to show off in front of the other tourists. Not gonna lie. But also because I thought it might put her more at ease or something, like that maybe she would want to speak more in Japanese with me. But no, really, she was just so good at English and just so skilled at everything she was doing that I don't think it was a factor at all. So yeah, we were encouraged to take pictures and videos. Here she is doing a performance. This was a game. So the way this game works, there's probably a longer video of me playing it. All of the tourists got a chance to play it. Oh, here I am. We'll see how long I last. So you go on rhythm, and you have to... Oh, I lost. You have to tap the top of this little Natsume looking thing. But you can also choose, instead of tapping it, to pick it up, in which case the other person has to knock on the table. She got me with a double pickup. She was very good at it. I think I only saw her lose once. But yeah, it was very fun. You just get into the rhythm of it. The song they sing accompanying it is very cute. Here's my mom playing. It speeds up and up and up and up until you're likely to make an error. This is gonna get stuck in my head too. So yeah, if they... Sorry, I don't think I fully explained it. If you pick it up, the other person has to knock on the table instead of tapping it with their fingers. So that's the skill element, is recognizing it. Oh, this was a very silly game where it's essentially just sort of rock, paper, scissors, but a little extended ritualistic version where you go up and you do a little dance in sync, and then you duck behind the screen and emerge doing one of 3 poses. So you could either be a tiger, an old lady, or a soldier. Soldier beats tiger, tiger beats old lady, but old lady beats soldier. And we tied so many times. We'll see here. We were just 2 in sync. So we're both tiger. Oh. So I lost in the end. But yeah, very cute, very fun. Here we are with her. We did a little photo op. And then here's our whole group, including the doggies. Very nice time. I don't know. It was lovely. As much as I have mixed feelings around the whole system of Meiko and Geisha and stuff, it was a really lovely experience and definitely something you could only get in Kyoto. Yeah. Oh, and then she did a final dance to send us off. Yeah, really lovely. And free. Like, I mean, included with the Ryokan, you know? Oh, it was also fun. About halfway through, the owner of the inn and some of his friends came in, and it was clear they had been drinking and stuff, but they were just in the back chatting, and I don't know, it gave me a glimpse of a lovely lifestyle where it seemed like the 2 guys were like businessmen, and then their friend owned this Ryokan, and he's like, we're doing this little tourist thing tonight, you want to come over, we'll have a few drinks. One of them came up and played the game with the Maiko. I remember he said, even though I'm Japanese, this is my first time. So yeah, it was neat. Very neat. It's very impressive. Like, it's not overly flashy, but every movement is so deliberate and precise and flowing from movement to movement. It really is an art form. And she's just in training. They'll get even better. But it was neat. She was explaining the symbology of all of her kimono and obi and hair ornaments and stuff, that they all reflect what stage of Maiko training she's in, and then also the season. That they vary in all sorts of different ways. Okay, and then this is the next day. That'll be the next video. We're up to like an hour and a half. I'm hungry. But I hope you enjoyed this one. Next we'll have some more Kyoto adventures before we bring it back to Tokyo for the finale. We're getting there. We're getting there. This recollection and photo journey has taken a lot longer than I thought. Do you remember in the first one, I was like, I think I can get all this done in like 1 video. Ridiculous. But I'm really glad I'm doing it this way instead, like spending a lot of time on it and allowing myself to really enjoy going into tangents and researching stuff. This is how I like to make videos, you know? Not concise. We're not doing these in a hurry. And I think it's a better watching experience too, right? Like, I don't know, you can let me know. Maybe you're getting bored and wish we'd hurry up and hurry through these things. But I know as a YouTube watcher, I like content being spaced out. I would prefer getting a video every week or so rather than a whole bunch right at once. So yeah, I'm really enjoying doing this. There's a few more left, as you can see. Now, as you can see, the scroll bar is slowly reaching the bottom of this gigantic album. So please look forward to more. Bye-bye.